All right. I think I'm good now. All right. I was just technical difficulties. Apologize, people. Um, yeah. So let me start off from the beginning because StreamYard was kind of like bugging out. My thing was muted for some odd reason. But anyways, normally what would do when Cobra Kai comes out would be doing a just a straight up review. Then I'll get some people together to do a live stream, but I figured this time around, since it's the final episode, is to kind of give uh, the people my thoughts in just a live stream instead of doing a review and just with closing things out with just a live stream. I know Rashad's going to be pulling up soon. I sent out invites, so I don't expect this to be a super long show. But like I said, I appreciate anybody that's checking this out live, or if you catch it on the replay, please, for the love of God, I don't ask much, but please just hit that like button. Hit the like button, show your support. That's the best way. You know what I'm saying? Super chats are open, what I'm saying, for people that want to donate and whatnot. And kind of give you a gist of what to expect in this stream. We're going to talk about part three as a whole, our thoughts on these final episodes, and then just our overall thoughts of this season, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of thoughts on that, whether or not they landed the plane and executed this finale perfectly or just barely. We're going to get into that as well. We're going to get into what we didn't like about this season, what's the best moment of the season, or some of our favorite moments overall, and then also talk about the future of the Karate Kid franchise. Like, we know we got Karate Kid Legends. So, definitely a lot to kind of unpack, you know what I'm saying, with this stream. But, you let me know in the comments below how you felt just initially about these last five episodes. You know what I'm saying? Anything that gets kind of brought up in the stream, you know what I'm saying? Let me know your thoughts about it. However you are watching this, if you're watching it right now, if you're a live viewer, or if you catch this on the replay. But also, do not forget to hit that like button. And if you're brand new and this is the first time you've ever caught one of my streams, definitely consider subscribing because I got a shit ton of content, a lot more content on the way to kind of just let y'all know. I got my Captain America stuff out. I just got a bunch of reviews out. I talk about movies, everything. But tonight, like I said, we're going to be talking about Cobra Kai. Just with all that out the way, you know what I'm saying? I'll kind of just start the discussion with part three and how it starts off, um, where part two left off, where we see also, I don't know if I need to say this, but there will be spoilers. So if you didn't watch Cobra Kai, at this point, definitely go back, watch that, then come back, listen to the discussion, and it'd be much appreciated. But anyways, I like, I'm not gonna say necessarily like, but I do like where we start off picking up right where, not right where, but like a month after the Setkai Taikai and the whole incident with Quan. Quan um, ends up dying. That was fucking crazy. That kind of really shocked the karate world at that moment. So everybody has to kind of fall back and take a few steps back. And some people are just, like Daniel, he is trying to just stay focused on work, the dealership. He really wants to kind of leave karate in the past just because of what happened. Other people like Johnny, uh, Silver, a lot of other people want to get back into the Setkai Taikai and finish it proper, you know. All right, Jose. Appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate seeing you, man. I haven't seen you in a minute, bro. Hope you doing well. Yeah, so like I was saying, you have a lot of people that are like conflicted on whether or not they should continue it. But it was really Silver that put the battery in the back of the commissioner, the guy that was running the Setkai Tetkai, Gunther, or what's his name? Gunther or something like I forget. I'm forgetting his name off the top of my head, but he told him, why don't we just use this? Use the boy's death pretty much to kind of promote this. He has this like sick and twisted kind of way of going about it, but you know, everybody's kind of on board besides like Daniel at this point. They're trying to get him back on board. Kreese is kind of going through a complete change. Like it took a kid dying for him to kind of see the error in his ways, and he has a complete character change in these last final episodes where he doesn't really want anything to do with the tournament as well. He's kind of said to himself, I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, I'm too old for this pretty much. And where they take Kreese's character is very fascinating as well. How they wrap up all these different storylines. One of my favorite, I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit. Let me put this up so people know what I'm talking about. Um, I know I'm jumping ahead for like favorite moments, but one of my favorite moments though is just the speech that Daniel gives to everybody, and it's almost like the writers thanking the audience for giving this a shot because this thing started on YouTube Red for a lot of people that don't know. If you weren't around in like 2018, you had Cobra Kai, they had Wayne. Um, I think those are the only two shows I watched off of that. But for that to continue with Netflix, for that to continue on to go on to Netflix was really dope because we were only going to get like, I think they only had like two seasons on YouTube Red. And imagine if we never got like season three, four, five, six, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm glad that Netflix picked this up and continued telling this story. It was really dope. But the first two episodes, I was a little worried. I was getting a little worried just because, all right, it was like we're spending a lot of time. I get it. Like, everybody's trying to decompress and reevaluate shit. Still the kids are getting ready to go to college, trying to figure that out. Um, just trying to find meaning in their lives and stuff like that. It's just a bunch of dicking around, for the most part. There's a lot of cool character moments, but it's just like let's get back into this tournament. So they end up bringing the tournament back to the valley, which was really fucking dope. Um, and I like about what I like about this is now it kind of sets the stage to kind of really finish out the tournament proper and have a really to have um an actual winner this time. No bullshit, no interferences or anything like that. I like that. Even getting the classic montages throughout different episodes and stuff like that, the fight montages or just the training montages, people getting ready to finish this tournament pretty much. And the matchups are Axel and Robbie, and then it was um, then it was down to like Sam and Tori, and the winner of that was going to fight Zaro. But I gotta go back and rewatch these episodes because, like I said, I'm going off of first watch, so there's certain details that I feel like I'm missing. But anyways, what ends up happening is during the tournament, Axel and Robbie are having their back and forth. They're having their fight, and Axel is actually getting the best of Robbie at first, and then Robbie finally starts to kind of kick it into next to fifth gear and shit, and starts to actually fuck up Axel in the process, and he gets the best of him. But then, of course, Sensei Wolf tells Axel, like, look, bro, you gotta fight dirty. So Robbie gets injured, which kind of pissed me off at the same time. But I like where what his character says when he's like having this moment with Johnny and saying that, karate has given me a family, given me friends, and all these dope moments. So that's a win in my eyes. That was fucking fire. Um, yeah, man, everything, even Daniel kind of still going through his stuff. I don't know how people are going to feel about the CGI Miyagi at times. Like if you really pay attention to it, it's not the best, but it's not like absolutely terrible. But I like that moment because it's another obstacle that Daniel has to kind of overcome. Like the series has just been about that with all these different characters going through these obstacles, um, wins and losses and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's pretty much how that tournament goes. But so now, uh, Miyagi Do is in a predicament where now they don't got enough points, so they have to kind of fall back by default. And if Cobra Kai can't find a replacement, you know what I'm saying, um the Iron Dragons win by default, which was fucking bullshit. But also I'll go back to that fight, but I like the Zara and Tori fight. I think the Zara and Tori fight was really cool. Um, that was interesting, because her whole thing with Zara, even though they could have made that rivalry a little bit, um, they could have written that a little bit better, give Zara some type of arc. But like I said, you don't got too many episodes to fuck around. So what they did with it was cool. Whatever, Shot.
Oh shoot! Hold up. Oh, yo.
Yo, I can hear you.
What the
Can you hear
hell?
me?
Yo.
Yo, can you hear me? I'm gonna give Rashad a second to get his setup right. I can hear you. Okay, so let's see. Where was I at?
Damn, how come I can't hear shit?
You can't hear me? One second, people. One second. It's all good. Give me one second. But anyways, uh, talking about Tori and the matchups was cool. I really like the different matchups that we got. Um, those were cool. So what? Okay, let me see if I can get him in here now. Yo.
Yeah, man, the devil busy.
Yeah, I was having issues with StreamYards and stuff like that. It was like stuck on mute for some odd reason.
Yeah, man, my bad. Yo, dog, I swear, man, I was on my way home. I was trying to time it perfectly. If you ever want to make God laugh, tell him you playing. So I'm like, okay, I'm on my way home. And then, yo, Perp, I got an offer I couldn't refuse, man. It was like $20, man, for 7 miles. I'm like, I can't turn this down. So I try to knock it out as fast as I could, but it seemed like when you try to hurry up and get to your destination, it's like everything just slows the fuck down.
Yeah, yeah. I be in that shit all the time.
And wait, the whole time I'm thinking that's okay. Maybe Terrence will get on, and Terrence can talk. So I said, okay, maybe Terrence will get on and run his mouth for a while, and I can get in. But yeah, Terrence ain't here.
Yeah, I was just yapping for like 15 minutes and shit like that. You ain't missed nothing. But I was just kind of talking about the final episodes because I was gonna pretty much break it down like final episodes, overall thoughts of the season,
Hmm.
um, what we didn't like or what they could have improved on or whatever the fucking best moments and the future of Cobra, the future of the Karate Kid franchise. Pretty much talking about like what spinoffs they could do. Yeah, we'll go through it though. But what was your thoughts on these final episodes?
Man, it was perfect, man. That's the best way I can describe it. I predicted 98% of what happened in those last 5 episodes, so extremely predictable. But that's a good thing because look, if I would have wrote this show myself in my head, that's exactly how I would have played out. That's exactly how I would have done it. You know what I'm saying? So even to see it play out, that I knew what was going to happen, I still loved it, and I ain't gonna lie, man. I shed a couple of tears. I did. Like per, I'm a crier, bro. So yeah, I cried a few times. Where even my son
I
got up in my face and was like, "Are you crying?" I said, "Yeah, man. Let me
Same.
be."
Yeah, same, man. Grown man tears, bro. Because it's like there's some genuine dope moments. Like I was talking about in the first, I think it was the first episode they put out, whatever. In that the last batch where Daniel is making that toast or that speech at his dealership. I think it was his dealership. Yeah,
Mm,
where it was kind of like it seemed like the writers were thanking the fans, like thank you for going
right.
along with us on this journey. There's a lot of that, like kind of like meta the 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 writers or something like that talking to the fans and stuff like that. I really like that. I was saying like I was a little nervous about the first two episodes because like all right man, like we only got so many few episodes to kind of get into it. Let's get back into it. But I like
Yeah.
that it's them kind of licking their wounds and kind of trying to like readjust
Hmm.
and figure things out. And some people just couldn't go out the karate like that was just a huge part of their lives. They thinking like, I'm gonna get all these opportunities, So, and for them to bring it back to the valley was just like a dope full circle moment. That's what I didn't expect. I didn't expect them to like bring it back.
Back to the
But
valley.
I thought they,
Well,
yeah, and
not so much bring it back. Well, that too, but like also bring it back to where it seems like they had to remind people whose show this was, right? Because we're going on 6 seasons now, and it kind of starts out as Johnny's perspective, Johnny's point of view, but then it kind of veered away. Then it started focusing more on the Miyagi Do stuff, where now Johnny's Miyagi Do. Then it's like the writers had to say, "Hey, look, hold up, we gotta dial this back and remind people whose show this is." And by the time it
mm,
was over with, it's like, okay, this is Johnny's show. Like
yeah,
it started out with Johnny and it ended with Johnny. You know,
yeah, I love that. I love that for him because it's like William Zabak, what that's his last name, whatever.
yeah, with the
He's
Zapier.
incredible.
Yeah,
He's incredible in this these final episodes, especially like that whole scene between him and Kreese. Man, he was really
that's where I
letting that
lost
shit go.
Perp. That's where I lost it, bro. That's where him and John Martin Cove sold that so well. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we never seen Johnny break down like that. So the fact that he actually broke down and was like, like I idolized you, like you were like my father, and
You
like
broke my trophy.
yeah,
You
you broke
you
my trophy,
abandoned me.
you abandoned me, you threw me like I was and just the little subtle moment of Kreese extending his arms out to him, like to hug him, like
Yeah.
like the way he did that, like Kreese never hugged anybody before, he never loved anybody. So as
Hmm.
awkward as that looked, and when he hugged him and said, "Son, I'm sorry," and Johnny, like a little boy, like just melted. You know what I'm saying? Like he just
Yeah.
melted in his arms, man. Like that shit.
Because
God,
that
it
was
was.
always that was always kind of like his father figure, and like I've always liked that he's always struggled with that, like never
Mhm.
having that father figure. People like kind of abandoning him and stuff like that. Like I love that, man. I really like that scene, and I was also mentioning the fights and stuff, like the matchups. I was like, man, Robbie's gonna get his moment, but then like him getting injured pissed me the fuck off, bro. But then at the same time, I really like what he said to Johnny. He said that was another moment where he was like, karate gave me friends, families, and all these great moments. So that's a win for me. Pretty much like I was like, man, that was crazy.
Well, that was straight from the Karate Kid. Like even like the whole that shot of him laying on the bed like that. That was because remember the
Mm,
first Karate Kid movie where Bobby broke Daniel's leg,
yeah.
and like they even played it out where it was like yeah, you fought well out there, young man. All of that was taken from the first movie. I said, okay, that's a nice touch. And but Perp, remember I called that. I said, look, when we did our predictions, I said Robbie's gonna get hurt and Miguel's gonna have to step up and fight Axel. I knew that
But
was gonna
how he fights Axel is fucking crazy. I'm just like, yo, that whole moment where they're sitting there trying to But before we get into that, like, what did you think about the Tori and Zara fight?
Oh, it was dope. It was dope. Yeah, and that was another part that got me too. And if you notice with all those fights, like they always have like each of them had their own trigger. Like Axel had his trigger where Sensei Wolf would give him the Winter Soldier,
Yeah,
words, he would fucking snap, and then Tori needed Robbie to tell her that he loved her. Not to coach,
yeah,
not to like how to all that's all she needed, bro. Because everything Tori went throughout this show, and for Robbie to tell her that. And like that shit got me a little
that's
bit
all she wanted. That's all she. That's all. That's all it is that she
she
needed.
needed that. Yeah, and yeah, that fight with Zara was dope. You know what I'm saying? Like even though in real life Zara could wipe the floor with her because I follow her on Instagram
Yeah,
and that bitch is bad. But she sold
yeah,
it. She did sell it, and yeah,
mm.
the fight was dope. Yeah,
Yeah. I could say like, that arc could have been like they could have done a little bit more with it, but like I said, there's only so much you could do with like the
right.
the amount of episodes and the characters. So some people are not going to, I could see some people being upset that Hawk doesn't get a moment, even though like he already had his moment back in
Yeah,
like season 4,
yep.
and
Yeah,
yeah, even when even because at first I didn't know how to feel about when him and Demetrius were like doing the whole simulation thing with
yeah,
the virtuality. I was like, well, who are we doing here? But then at first it clicked with me. I was like, oh no, this is them going back to their the characters that we know them as. Like
yep.
they've always been those
Binary
nerdy
Brothers. Yeah,
yeah, the binary brothers. That was Eli. That was not Hawk. You know what I'm saying? Like Hawk already completed his arc. You know what I'm saying? And
facts.
now going back to being Eli and stuff. So there's a lot of that, like characters just going back to their season 1, you know, their season ones. Even them shouting out Aisha. I'm glad that they did that. They didn't just completely, forget about her, even though she wasn't a part of like the later seasons. That would have been cool to see her come back or something like that for the final
Yeah,
episode or something like that.
did she last appear? Was it season 5? I think when Sam was going through her shit, and she had that
I
little.
think so. Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah. So that she did pop back up. So
Well, even more than Hawk, but then again, I know there's not a lot they can do with him, but I'm like Kenny just took a back seat all the way. Like he went from being the wild card and helped him advance in the Sakai Takai, and then in the last 5 episodes, he was just like a background character. Like he was just there.
yeah, I kind of wish that they like him and Devin kind of had like more screen time to kind of, even though they did kind of like squash that shit in like part 2, they could have just like
Right.
followed up with that. Yeah, so there's definitely moments that was just like, man, they could have just cut out all the Korea shit, the Korean shit, to just put that screen time on certain characters. Because I will say, I you said what?
Oh no, yeah, I was gonna say no. I agree, and like even I think even because remember Kenny started out with Robbie was his teacher. You know what I'm saying, like that. It was like Ahsoka and Anakin. So I was like, it would have been cool if when Robbie's getting his ass kicked, that Kenny was like, hey man, remember when I had nobody to turn to when I was getting bullied. You helped me out, and you know what I'm saying, like a pep talk, like
Yeah.
you could do it, man. Like you were my teacher. You know
Hmm.
and they never had a moment at all.
Yeah, it's a shame, but like at that time, that's why I was saying like that Korea stuff, like they could have definitely cut that completely,
Hmm.
or just trim that down, because I will say out of everything in like season 6, that's probably like the weakest subplot, for sure.
Right.
Um, but also like seeing Kreese just come to that realization that he fucked up and he don't want to do this shit no more. He don't even, and
I feel you.
Sensei.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. My bad.
Now I was gonna say like Sensei Kim killing her grandfather and shit. I was like, that's a little extra. You know what I'm saying? But she at least ends up with Chosen, is able to kind of teach these kids a different type of
Yeah.
style and stuff like that. So, to kind of get that out the fucking way. But at the same time, to your point, like, yeah, they could have done a little bit more with Kenny's character. Because he was just there in the background. Like,
Yeah. Well, and Kim killing her grandfather, yeah, that was a little extra, but I understand why they did that, because he was basically, in so many words, he told her, like, look, only way that you're gonna get this from me is if you kill me. So you had
yeah,
so of course they were setting it up to try to trick the audience, thinking that she was gonna kill Kreese, when the whole
yeah,
time it was Kim, the senior Kim that had to go. So it like that takes it back to the kung fu movies of back in the day, where only way that you reach the upper level, you have to kill the master. You know what I'm saying?
right.
It's like Kung Fu Theater 101. You have to kill the master to become the master, and that's what she had to do.
Yeah, and it's just like they kind of, they address Kwan's death, but they kind of just move on from it very quickly.
Right.
Even though they start they use, well, Silver wants them to kind of use his death to kind of motivate people to continue, which is like kind of fucked
Right.
up. And I like Silver in here too, because he tries to convince Daniel to
Mm-hmm.
kind of get into it, even though he's you don't sympathize with him, but you can understand why he's doing what he's doing, even though it's crazy, because it's like he's about to die, like he's facing death, so it's like the karate's all he had.
And did I not call that too? Did I not call that too, nigga? I said Silver's dying. I said when they met
But
up
the
in
way he died, that was crazy. Like that whole, we could talk about that. Like him and
Creed.
Kreese fighting on the boat and
Yeah.
that shit. But I was like, that's so 80s, bro. Like, I
So
was like,
cinematic. What that was like ultimate 80s, man. And it also said that too. I said Kreese is gonna sacrifice himself to for Johnny. That's gonna be his last gesture to prove that his love for Johnny is sacrifice himself for him, which he did. And
yeah,
the sad thing is Johnny will never know it. He'll
yeah,
never know
yeah.
what he sacrificed for him.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, and I wouldn't be surprised, what I'm saying, if he didn't jump off the boat or some shit like that. Like, but I think they're gone. They're definitely probably good. Like, they're both.
Yeah,
There's no way you're surviving
I
it.
did think I was telling my son. I said, "Isn't it funny? Wouldn't it be funny if Kreese appeared? Because how many times did he fake his own
Yeah.
death show or near death, and he always came out? So, oh shit, what was that?
Nah, I was a car outside.
Oh, I was like, God damn.
Yeah, they like to speed down the street and shit. Like, you hear this shit like right next to the street. But
But yeah, but Silver, yeah, because Silver was about to do some dark shit, man. He was like, about to kidnap the daughter and
yeah, that was wild, bro. I'm like, bro, you doing too much now. Like,
even
like,
his boy told him that, like, okay, a furniture store is one thing, but you sure you want to go here? Like, if somebody
yeah, like you. Yeah, I know Wolf would have been down, and like Wolf is just as like trash as Silver. Like, he really don't give a fuck. Like, he cold hearted as fuck, just as much as Silver is. So they were a good pairing. I like Sensei Wolf for the most part, because like
yeah.
he's just that obstacle. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, and, he,
Especially for
and he- and
Johnny.
he's the only person of this show or ever that had Johnny shook. Like, that's only time you ever
Yeah.
seen Johnny scared, especially when they was in the locker room and he was talking his shit, like getting
Hmm.
inside his head, and Johnny swung and he caught him and threw him up against the locker. That's the only time you seen Johnny ever scared. Like, holy shit! Like, how the fuck am I gonna beat
Yeah.
this guy?
And like you said, in real life, he probably definitely beat his ass. But
Oh, yeah.
but yeah, like I just love the whole culmination of all of that stuff. Like
Mm-hmm.
Robbie getting injured now, Miguel stepping in as Cobra Kai, going
Right.
back to the first season. I
Yep.
was just like, man, and you had Tori there. These are the original Cobra Kai, like, what I'm saying, students. That was fucking crazy, man. I was just,
But let me ask
and
let me ask you what you think about this. I was talking to my daughter about this. I was like, we were talking about the final fight with Miguel and Axel, right? And I said, look, I'm not gonna take anything away from Miguel. Like I'm Team Miguel since the first episode, okay. But I said my thing is that Axel deliberately lost that fight because he was tired of being a puppet for Wolf. You know, because if you remember, Perp, he could have easily like when they told him, okay, when Miguel like pivots this way or whenever he does, it leaves an opening, and it
Yeah.
happened, and they was like, do it, and he had a chance to finish the fight, but he decided he pulled back. He decided not to. You
I
know,
would
he
disagree.
held
I don't think he pulled back, but like he had that opening, but I feel like he's like I'd rather fight him straight up
in mind. Yeah, you're
and
right.
lose because like Robbie was gonna beat him. You know what I'm saying? So that lets you know how much they improved as fighters as well too. Because Axel, he's a big dude. Because when he was moving, I was like, yeah, that shit is crazy. Like, there's no way. I was like, yo, you got to drug test him or something. Check his birthday
Drago,
because like
man.
that dude's like 25. Like,
Dog, he was fucking he's fucking karate Ivan Drago, So now Robbie, I don't know if Robbie was keeping up with him, but even before Robbie got hurt, Axel was still up by like 5 points or something like that. So I think
yeah,
Axel,
I think he would have just beat him by with the
yeah,
points, but like not
right.
knock him out or anything.
Right. He would have beat him by points, yeah. But I don't know. I feel like Miguel. I feel like he almost didn't want to win that fight because remember the theme of the theme of this show is that what are you fighting for? You know what I'm saying? Like if you're
Hmm.
fighting for something, most times you're going to come out on top. And Axel is not fighting for anything. His sensei abuses him. He's got a thing for Sam, but Sam ain't
That's a
really
good point.
like that. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
feel like I
I'm
feel
gonna
like
have to rewatch. I'm gonna have to rewatch that because like I was thinking the same thing, but at the same time, it's just like they were still like throwing hands. Like,
yeah,
but yeah,
not
yeah, but that's a great point though because that is like the overall theme. Like, what is you fighting for? What is your
right.
purpose? Type of thing. But then like, man, that fight was great too. How do you feel about the fights? Like, do you feel like these are better than previous fights that we've seen in other seasons, or
It's well, because they had so much on the line. Yeah, I would definitely say these are the best fights because of what's at stake. You know what I
true?
mean? Yeah. Because of what's at stake, because it's such high stakes and then the intensity of it. Yeah, I think these are some of the best fights. Like because like other than these fights, to me, my favorite fight was Hawk and Robbie in the final at the All Valley.
Yeah, that
Even
was
though
great. That was great.
it was only one, like was it like 2 points to one or something like that, but they went
Hmm.
overtime or whatever. But yeah, these fights were intense, man. Like even so when Miguel and Axel was fighting, I was getting emotional when Johnny said, "Look, man, fuck the points, just go out there, just like so everything he ever learned from Johnny through flashback and everything, he just
Yeah, that was crazy.
that
And
shit
and
got
it's crazy when like because I was rewatching Cobra Kai with my mom like back when it was like Christmas. No, it was like Thanksgiving. She was really into it too. Like um, and it's crazy that she knows about the kick too. She's like that's one of the greatest kicks ever. Like, but just watching like season one Miguel and seeing where he's come now, like it's like night and fucking day. It's crazy. Even them like them sitting out front of the convenience store and shit, eating
yeah,
pizza and stuff like that, and just reminiscing like going back to these moments and stuff like that. It was just like
yeah,
a lot of full circle moments. Like, and now talking about like the biggest full circle moment is when they end up in a tie. Like, yeah, Miguel and Axel end up in a tie. That's what they never really settled that. It
right,
ended in a tie. Um, which now it's like it comes down to the sensei. It's Johnny and Wolf, and
right.
that was really dope because it's like I'm watching this right. And Johnny getting his ass whooped, but then it's just like I was like, "Yo, is he about to do the crane kick?" And I was like, and
I was
he
thinking that.
sweeps the leg. I
I
was
was
like,
thinking
"Yo,
that.
that shit is fucking hilarious!" But it's fucking good. It was great. It was great. I
It
cried.
was great,
I
yeah.
cried.
And I'm glad they made the decision not to do the crane kick. I'm glad they did that, perp, because
Yeah,
because like another thing that they was focusing on was that Johnny. That's why he had to go back to Cobra Kai because Johnny was in Daniel's shadow. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? It's like even when they did the interview and they cut Johnny's interview off, and so everything about
yeah. That was funny. He was like, "What the hell?" Like I spent like a whole hour with this guy. Like,
yeah, so everything about him now was becoming Miyagi though. And it's like he lost his identity, so he had to go back to Cobra Kai and get his own identity. And the fact that Daniel coached
Is
him.
what rocking? Yeah, he's rocking the gi, and he's a sensei. Oh my god,
Yeah.
yeah! I was like, yo, this is great.
Yo, and to see, and and that's another full circle moment too, because if you remember when Terry Silver and Dane were fighting, right? And remember Silver
Mm.
told him, like, yeah, you're gonna see your kids in a Cobra Kai gi, watch. And Dane was like, I got on my watch, and then what happened? You see Sam and Anthony with a Cobra Kai gi
and,
on.
and him just saying like, Cobra Kai never dies. That
Yep,
just
yep,
yeah, that was great. That was great,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
Cobra Kai never dies,
great
and I
stuff.
love that Johnny gets to go back and take Cobra Kai back for himself in that moment and become a world and put Cobra Kai on that world stage and him actually winning at the All Valley, like at the Valley now and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
that was fucking
Yeah,
great.
total
That was great.
redemption because the show starts out with him being a loser and still holding on to that loss after 30 years to now the show ends with them hoisting him up, and now as a world
And,
champion.
and,
You know,
and I like that he was talking to his mom's grave. You know what I'm saying? And he also named his daughter after his mother. That was another moment that kind of just kind of wrecked me and shit. Like I was just like, man. But like
yeah,
even the conversation that he'd be having with his mom and stuff was like really dope. He just
right.
did a great fucking job these final fucking episodes, man. It was just
Yeah,
it's like you were saying, like they had
out.
to bring it back to whose show this was and stuff like.
Yeah, because people forgot, man. Because you gotta remember, Perp. He went from Cobra Kai, then then at the end of season 2, he loses Cobra Kai. So then from season 3 on, he goes from Eagle Fang to Miyagi Do. You know what
Mm,
I'm saying? And it's like, okay, the show's called Cobra Kai, and Johnny has nothing to do with the shit now. So for them to bring it back and to see him back as Cobra Kai was dope, man. That was like you said, a full circle moment.
great, man. I'm
Yeah,
definitely gonna watch it after this stream though, because like I've been wanting to rewatch those episodes. I just didn't get, I haven't had time and stuff like just making different videos. But it's just yeah, this series has just been incredible. From start to finish, has a lot of, and what I like about it, it's stayed consistent as far as its themes. Like it's not afraid to go over the top like a season 5
right,
or it knows when to get serious. It'll give you those heartfelt moments like that whole Crease and Johnny scene. I think that'll probably be the a highlight for a lot of people. I think that's an Emmy worthy performance right
facts,
there. Like, but
facts.
they probably won't. But
Yeah,
I would definitely, just because like he's been showing himself time and time and just seeing where Johnny started, like you said in the first season, to
right.
where he's at now. Like he's has one of the best like just character arcs next to Crease. I would say Crease is definitely up there too, because
Yeah.
now you look at Crease, like he's always been kind of like this anti-hero, not like slash like villain, but like he goes from like being that villain to like an anti-hero type of character and stuff like that.
Well, he was evil
Um,
incarnate, man. He was like evil incarnate, and it took for Quan to die for him to finally have that epiphany. Like, fuck, like I fucked up. Like I think after Quan died, that's when Kreese did like a whole face turn. Like, dog,
mhm.
I fucked up.
And he even had the moment with Tori and stuff as well, and he
Yeah,
just trying to make it right with the people that he actually cares about.
right.
Um, that's one thing I'm kind of disappointed on. That's one of my that goes in one of my cons. It's like, yo, we were thinking here that Kreese had something to do with Tori's death, and that's why what I'm saying that
Oh, Tori's
that's
mom.
obviously
Oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah, because that would be crazy. But I guess he's not that evil. You know,
Yeah, but I wouldn't put it past him though. Like, well, you know what? That would be more of a Silver move. Terry Silver would
yeah.
do more something like that. See,
Yeah,
Crease,
you're fucking kidnapping. Like, just out the baby hasn't barely got out the womb, and you try to kidnap the kid
right,
and shit.
right,
Like,
right.
you gonna kidnap? Like,
But you know what? But that just goes to show the difference between Crease and Terry. Is that see with John Crease, you get what you get from him. What you see is what you get. He's a hardened badass. That will fucking fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. That's him. You know what I'm saying? Terry
mm.
Silver is more vicious because Terry Silver hides behind his smile, his charm, but at the whole
He-
time
he's willing to do. He's willing to do anything
he's willing to
it
do
takes to win.
anything. Like he plays chess with you, and that's why they fell out because from the jump, Terry Silver was always playing chess. Kreese is playing checkers. So Kreese's whole strike first, strike hard, no mercy bullshit. But Terry Silver's like, no. Let's get him another way. Okay, let's do it this way. And kind of like that old saying of we see the father bull and the baby bull on top of the hill. Hey, Pop, let's run down there and fuck one of those cows. And the father says, no, let's walk down and fuck them all. That's the difference between
No, I heard Ben the Don say that shit like on Kai stream. That shit was funny as hell. Because like when he was doing all the motivational speeches and stuff, like that's what he was talking about.
But that's the difference between them. So killing
and Kreese is the one that like kind of made Silver, you know what I'm saying, into that way, so it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, okay, what do you think about Cho? Okay, so Chosen's character wrap up, he ends up with Kim and not Kumiko. Was you satisfied with that he ended up with Kim?
Yeah, I'm cool with that because like, what I'm saying, like Kumiko is for the streets. That was established. She for the streets, and she she wasn't the one, and Kim came in there. And I think that's dope because Chosen always, like that was his whole thing. He was always alone and stuff. But now he got a family. He got, Daniel. He's living there still, and I think that was cool. I would have wished to get a little bit more with that, but like I said, there's not so much you could do with like 5 episodes. So I'm still satisfied for the most part.
Oh yeah,
I don't gotta really.
And as a huge Rocky fan, bro, like me, bro, like Rocky 3 is my favorite movie of all time. Love all
The montage.
The montages, say on the beach, the water. I'm like, that's all Rocky 3, when Johnny said, yeah, he's not a machine, he's a man. Rocky 4, Rocky Drago, you know what I'm saying? And I wish, what would have made this like really perfect would have been the perfect bow on top if the show would have ended like Rocky 3, where you have Daniel and Johnny, or I would even take Miguel and Robbie, in the dojo, walking, talking shit, and then they circle each other, right? And then right before they get ready to throw that first kick, it freezes.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
I would have loved that, bro. That would be like perfect.
Yeah, because I really like the montage where it's just like Johnny embraces Daniel as a sensei. They're training. He's training like they helping one another and stuff like that. And it just, like I say, it just goes to his character growth, man. Like he's come a long way where he's just like he's not selfish no more. He's open to just using Miyagi-Do styles and stuff like that, but also staying true to himself at the same time. Like it was fantastic. Fan-fucking-tastic.
Right, and also switching up the style because what caused Johnny to fight with Daniel was that he rushed in and ran into the kick. Whereas this time, okay, I'm gonna let this nigga come to me. I'm gonna use a different approach, and it worked, and he won. He's a world champion now.
And him talking to Miguel and him acknowledging that like he made all these mistakes, like even with the girl and stuff, like like him just coming to the realization that like I was in the wrong, and just that was really fucking great. Amanda, best mom of the series, you know what I'm saying? Like very supportive. I could have wished like we got a little bit more with her because like but I get it. She's like a supporting character and stuff like that. So Sam, Sam kind of is another one that I would say kind of takes a back seat, but like she's another one that kind of acknowledges her position in certain things, sort of like how Robbie like understands like it's can't win them all type of shit, and and that goes to her character growth because she was always goes from being scared of Tori or scared to compete and stuff like that to kind of just being okay with having to sit on the sidelines or some shit like that. But
also like she hadn't really nothing to fight for either because she already won the All Valley. Technically Tori won, but she really won. And her fighting Zara wouldn't make sense because there's no story behind that fight.
Yeah,
but, I mean,
she would have got beat.
She'd got beat. But technically speaking, and I always felt this way about the Sam and Tori beef, because they made Tori out to be the villain, where actually Sam was the one that started with her. You know what I mean? So if you look back, Tori was the one that started that shit with Zara. Zara was actually trying to have, kind of a friendly conversation with her, like, yeah, check him out, like, not knowing like she didn't know that was a nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Tori just took that.
Yeah, that was crazy. But she got her ass whooped, you know what I'm saying? Granted,
Yeah.
um what's another
What about Axel? Do you feel like Axel? So after he loses and he turns his back on
Scott walks off.
walks off. Yeah. Did you want to see more about what happened with this character, or did you feel like that was a perfect way to?
No, I don't care about the Iron Dragons like that. You know what I'm saying? We here for Cobra Kai and Miyagi Do. Y'all losers. Get off the mat, man. Get off the mat. Keep it moving. Keep it stepping. But Axel was cool, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if they would probably do like a spinoff of him and people would care about that. I don't think so, but I think he probably would have an interesting story, just like how he came to be an Iron Dragon and stuff like that, and him being their top student and stuff like that. So, but that was just another obstacle for them and stuff. But
Yeah. I don't think he's an interesting enough character though to get. I mean, because he's like I say, he's Drago. He's kind of like a stoic type character.
yeah,
Now, if Quan would have lived, I would have definitely liked to see more of his characters. I think Quan was,
he had a lot of potential.
what
Yeah.
I'm saying, an over the top. He was over the top, but I feel like he really worked as a character, and I would have liked to see more from him. But unfortunately, my motherfucker
Yeah.
knife.
Fell on that shit. Like, well, he a dumbass for that, anyways. But can't really feel that too bad for him. Like, bro, who told you to pick that up, bro? Like, you get your
Wait,
ass will get.
and Perp, did you not laugh with what's Daniel's cousin's name? Louis, when Louis and Anush was talking, and he was like, yeah, he flipped the kid over. He said, wait, is he a pancake? What do you mean flipped over?
Yeah, that was funny. I even like that too. Like, there's a lot of little meta shit, like where they were talking in the first episode. It's almost like the Saikai didn't happen because it's like almost feels like a completely different show. Like, let's get back to the shit. Like,
right.
but so, what's your overall thoughts on this season? You satisfied with just part one, part two, three?
Yeah, you know what? At first I was upset that they was breaking it up into 3 parts because I'm such a fan, so I want to watch. I'm so used to
Yeah,
binging the whole season, so the fact that they broke it up. But now looking back, I'm glad they did it that way because like it was a 3-act structure within
yeah,
like 15 episodes.
exactly.
So part 1 is the first act to set up. Act 2 is the Sakai, then Act 3 is the finale, the conclusion. And I
Yeah.
think everything worked out like it gave us time to digest each act. So by the time it ended, I felt like damn, it felt like almost like 2 seasons, man. But it was just so much. But
Yeah.
I feel like they wrapped it up like damn near perfectly, man. I don't know if they could have ended
I
it.
couldn't imagine the backlash if they did that. Like, if those 3 parts were just seasons.
Right.
People be mad. It's like, oh, you just gotta give us 5 episodes a season now? Like,
Yeah.
that's
And
crazy.
I also feel like it's a perfect love letter to Karate Kid fans because not only am I a day one for this show, but I'm a day one Karate Kid fan. Besides Rocky 3, Karate Kid is my favorite movie, my second favorite movie of all time, bro. So saw that at 5 years
Yeah.
old. I've loved every movie. I've watched it over the years throughout my life. So it's the perfect love letter to Karate Kid fans. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for me, like this did like watching Cobra Kai, I remember just like being optimistic, but just not as hyped at first. I was like, this is probably gonna be like going to cancel the first season, but then it ended up being like a crazy strong first season on YouTube fucking Red of all platforms. And thank God Netflix picked it up because it's like, man, like it's such a gem. Like, because imagine if it just ended with season 2 or some shit. I'm like, bro, I need to see more. Like, and I'm glad that Netflix gave them the budget to be like, get out of the hair and just let them do what the fuck they wanted to do. And for that, I think it worked because it gives the story of Daniel and Johnny closure. And I think that's the biggest thing. Because if that didn't work, then this whole show falls apart. Like, if they didn't fix that.
Yeah. And and thanks to fans like us because, bro, I don't know about you, but I was trying to convert everybody on this show, bro. Like when it first dropped on YouTube Red, I mean, I called my brother, my friends and shit. I was like, yo, you got to watch this. Only person I couldn't convert was my father. It is. It is ironic. It's ironic because my father was the one that put me onto the
Got you in
Karate
it.
Kid.
Yeah.
He was the one that brought the movie home from the video store, the VHS. We watched it. We loved it. And I said, Dad, you got to watch this show, Cobra Kai, man. And he was like, son, I've been there, done that, man. I don't want to see that.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, I said, but Dad, it's told from Johnny's perspective. He said, I don't care about Johnny, man. That guy was an asshole. I don't give a shit about
That's funny. Nah, that's funny. But that's
Johnny.
what's like I feel like as far as these legacy IPs go, like Cobra Kai does it the best, man. Like they did it the best.
Yes,
Like
yes.
that's how you go. That's how you do it, and it just made me love the Karate Kid IP even more, and I'm just so more even more excited for Karate Kid Legends, and because I like when I first saw that trailer, I was like, I didn't not expect that tone.
Right,
I
right.
expected it to kind of be more in that Cobra Kai lane, but like that's what's really dope about the Karate Kid universe that they're doing that because you could have the Cobra Kai where it's like over the top silliness and shit like that. But then, like, if they do like a younger Miyagi, it'd be like more serious in tone. And you look
Mhm.
at the Karate Kid Legends, where that's probably is most likely going to have humor, but it definitely seems like a more serious story and stuff in tone and whatnot. So, what is it? What is your hype level or your thoughts on not Cobra Kai, but Karate Kids Legends? Because that's going to be the next thing to come out, and that takes place like, what 3 years
A few
after
years
Cobra
after
Kai.
Cobra Kai, yeah, yeah, I'm excited, man. Like I love what they did with this and how they, paid homage and now expanding the universe. So like I could see a few spin-offs coming from this, starting with the movie as well. And this time I guess it's focusing more on Daniel's journey, where we wrapping up Johnny's journey. Now it's Daniel's journey. So yeah, I'm excited, man. Yeah, I'm as long as I don't see Jaden Smith, I'm good.
You think they're going to say that this kid is or Mr. Han is somehow like this kid and Mr. Han have some type of relationship
Yeah,
with Miyagi? Like this is his like grandson or some shit.
got to because why else would Daniel be involved? You know what I'm saying? Like there's
Yeah.
really like Daniel right now should be just going off into the sunset, thinking about his dealership. So to bring him back into karate, it's got to be some kind of tie to
You
Miyagi.
you know what was funny? Like I don't know if you noticed this neither. Like watching part three, I was like, bro, Daniel look old as fuck. Like I was like, yo, he aged like a motherfucker. Like
Bro,
between part two and three, bro.
yo, I told my daughter, I said, yo, why does it look like Daniel's like his just for men is starting to wear off a little bit? You know what I'm saying? Like his
You
men
just a
starting to
man,
start.
nigga.
Yeah, like when the adjustment starts wearing off and the gray starts coming back, that's what it looked like.
Yeah, that motherfucker was look old as hell. Like, bro, I can tell. Like, this is where they shot. They just shot this year, like, or last year, type shit. Like,
I
that
mean,
shit was
hey,
funny. Because then when you look at him in the Karate Kid movie, I was like, he looks a lot younger. Like,
yeah. Well, dog, well, it's purpose about time because for Ralph Macchio's been young forever. Okay, it got to the place where I look older than Ralph Macchio, and that nigga could be my dad. You know what I'm saying?
so, what spinoffs would you like to see other than like a Miyagi spinoff?
Well, it
Would you
looks
want
like
to see something like within like post Cobra Kai or
yeah. Well, it
something
looks
in the
like
past?
it looks like they set up a few. So the binary brothers look like they're gonna try to do something with them when they go to college. And it,
Hmm.
might, it might be like some Revenge of the Nerds type shit, like that kind of tone or whatever. Just you got Sam and Robbie, no Sam and Miguel going to Okinawa, so that could be a show.
Yeah, like a little show. Like I'd be
Yeah,
cool with like limited series too. Like if they wanted to make like just a little 10
right,
episode story or some shit like too.
right. I would definitely like to see a young Miyagi, and I would like to see that story about how him and Sato how they fell out, and the
Hmm.
shit that happened with them and Miyagi competing in the Sakai Takai. I would definitely love to see that, and I would like this too, man. What would you think about like an animated series about Johnny's days in
Anime,
yeah,
yo, because anime version of Cobra Kai. Like if they just retold the whole shit, like all just retell like all of like Karate Kid in anime form, like man, that would be fucking
Yeah, because no, I always because you always hear Johnny tell the stories about his days in Cobra Kai and increasing them. So that would be cool to have like an anime version of Johnny's journey from when he first competed, when he faced off against Vidal, which it was cool to see him in the show as well, up until and have the show end right before Daniel comes to California. So you see all that
that'd
shit.
be dope.
Yeah.
That'd be dope. I'd be even down for that if they did that with Miyagi. Like, just give us an animated version of that shit.
Right.
Like,
Right.
that should be crazy. Because there's a bunch of animes right now that like they got great like fight choreography and stuff like that, like Windbreaker or Sakamoto Days, or just like um Samurai Champloo or something like that. Like, just different things like that. That'd be sick though. That'd be
Right.
really fucking dope. I could see them tapping into that. I'm curious to see. I am curious to see where they take Legends, though, for sure. Like,
Yeah.
where, like, is that going to like? Are they going to try to do a whole trilogy, or just kind of wait and see to see how the first one does? I think it's going to do well. I think it's going to do pretty relatively well. I don't know what the budget is and
Well, yeah,
whatnot.
because
It can't be no like 100 million or something like that. So
yeah, now I will because you got to think Cobra Kai is such a big fan base, and I think they're all going to show up. We're all I'm gonna say we're all going to show up, for this movie. So
yeah.
I think it'll do pretty good.
And I think you could also bring those Cobra Kai characters back in future movies. Like you can bring back Miguel or something like that. They could have like this epic tournament or something like that, or in like a third movie or something like that down the line. There's so much you could do. I would like even like I know a lot of people don't like female led shit. So like it'd be cool to have a female led Karate Kid IP spinoff or something like that. Like not necessarily Hillary Swank, but like you could probably, hey, like she had a daughter or something like that.
Right. Well, if for some reason I was thinking they were gonna go with having Tori be her daughter, I like for some reason I always expected Hillary Swank to show up sometime in the show with the
All
reveal.
these
Like,
nepo babies.
right.
But I kind of like that Tori's her own. She don't gotta be attached to legacy like a legacy character. I think it just makes sense for like Robbie to be like that character and stuff
Yeah,
like that. And
yeah,
Sam.
yep.
Yeah, even gotta go too OD with it, where everybody's like, it's like the kid. It'd be like fucking Cobra Kai, the next generation type shit, or I would like to see them do something with Kenny. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Facts.
but going back
Yeah.
to the final episode where Johnny reopens the gym and he got a whole new group of kids now and stuff like that. So he's still teaching karate and stuff. So
And wait, and you had the one kid that looked just like Miguel, the kid. Remember the kid with the glasses?
yeah,
Like, wow, so that's like Miguel all over again, man.
it's like good. He was like, good God, never wear those shits. He's like, yeah, don't go soft for these kids, man. You gotta just keep it the same energy and stuff like that.
Right.
But I think overall this was a fantastic series, man. Like
Yeah.
one of my favorite, one of the best, I would say. Like, and normally shows don't get good endings and stuff like that. I think this has a really satisfying ending. So
And that's what I was afraid of because I posted a picture on Instagram about my Mount Rushmore of shows, and two of those shows did not have the best endings. Sopranos and The Wire. The Wire had a decent ending, but I don't know if I feel like it left much to be desired. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they really could have gone further with The Wire, and it's almost like it just ended.
yeah.
Because of whatever reason. And The Sopranos, as much as I love The Sopranos, man, that ending always let me down. So I was afraid that Cobra Kai was going to do the same thing, and unfortunately, it didn't.
I just recently watched The Sopranos like not too long ago, like a few years back, and I was like, oh, that was my reaction. I was like, oh, so that's how it ends. Okay, I still like the show. I was just like, okay, then just ends abruptly. I was like, okay, or
Now,
maybe they had an idea that like there was going to be like a sequel series or something like that, but.
no, well, I saw interviews with David Chase, and David Chase said he purposely did that because he left it open for whatever you wanted the ending to be. You know what I'm saying? Because like there
And
was
people hate that.
Yeah, there were so many theories after that. Like, okay, well, it went black because Tony got shot in the back of the head, or there was just so many theories. And he was like, he said, "Listen, I left it open for you to make the ending is whatever you want it to be."
That's why I like that's why I like long legs. You know, the ending is whatever you want them to be.
Right, right. But now, yo,
But
fuck that movie. But now imagine what. So I watched that. I watched that when it first aired. Right. So I was there. So
mm,
I had like a whole watch party. Me and a bunch of my friends. We were watching the last episode of The Sopranos, thinking it was gonna be fireworks, right? And I'll never
mm.
forget. It was like 6 of us there, and I'm drunk, and I'm like, okay, I'm waiting for the big finale. And the last 5 minutes, I'm like, okay, nothing's happening yet. Besides Phil getting killed, I'm like, okay, nothing's happening. And then when it went black, Perp, you can hear a pin drop. We was all we all stared at the screen for like a good 30 seconds before we said anything. And I forgot who broke the ice, but we was like, what the fuck was that? We thought the TV went out. We didn't know what happened.
That was what turned his TV off.
Did the cable go
Well,
out?
I will say my final things on like Sopranos. At least it didn't end like Game of Thrones. You know what I'm saying? Where you got like a show like Game of Thrones where it's at like its all time high, and it just fucks up at the end.
I say, yeah. Game of Thrones, I think Dexter was like the two greatest shows with the worst fucking endings.
Hmm. But thank God that like Cobra Kai goes to that section of that shit landed the plane like that. That's
Right,
a satisfying ending.
right.
Certain things might it's not like perfect, but it's as perfect as you're gonna get. Like I couldn't have done it like I don't know, couldn't imagine it any other way. Just
Yeah,
plain out.
as a fan, it ended exactly how I would imagine a Cobra Kai show ended. I mean, you can like and this show is like easy to criticize and pick apart, like for the sophisticated watcher. Like, yes, well, the story and the plot and dog, it's Cobra Kai, man. Look, this is
Yeah, don't put no logic into the shit.
like
Like
no logic into it, man. Like, look, this is just a
you
likable.
like if you're sitting there watching the end of season 2 with the school fight and you're still trying to make logical sense of shit. Like I don't know.
Yeah, bro. Like this is a self-aware, fun show that knows what it is. Just roll with it, man. Just roll with it. This is WWE meets Star Wars meets Rocky. Just enjoy the fucking ride.
And the thing is, too, also like with shows, I feel like they don't really hit their stride until after they're done. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what really is going to make it like, or is it going to be like a Breaking Bad, or is it going to be like a, you know what I'm saying? Because a show could be cool in the moment, but it's just like after it's done, do people still talk about it? Do people
Right.
still come around to finding it? And I think Cobra Kai is going to definitely be that show, especially with like the Karate Kid movies coming back. Like it's going to get people
Mm-hmm.
back into the series. And I wish
Right.
I could be one of those people to watch it from the beginning, but I'm glad that I was like, yo, I watched this shit on YouTube Red and
Yep.
got
Yep.
to see it all the way through.
Yeah.
Didn't quit on it, didn't drop a season, didn't do none of that. No. I followed through and I'm very happy for that because it's like
Yeah.
I'm really satisfied with this ending the more I think about it.
Yeah. It's been consistent. They're like, you guys even with the great shows, you're like, well, this season was kind of weak, or this episode was kind of like I can't think of one single episode where I was like, okay, that episode was kind of whack, or this season was whack. Like this show has been consistent from season 1 all the way through to season 6, man. You know, so some stuff you can nitpick here and there about, but
Yeah, it's not
overall,
major.
yeah, not major. Nah.
Yeah, like I said, like as long as they close out Johnny and Daniel's story, that's all that matters because that's what this show is all about. It's them two, you
Yep.
know.
And
But with that being,
I think these last 5 episodes, this is the first time we didn't see them bickering, and that's been
yeah,
another criticism. People are saying like, "Man, I'm so sick. Like this, it's getting old watching Daniel and Johnny arguing and fight." I'm like, "Dog, it's like Tom and Jerry, like that. That's the
yeah,
formula, man. That's the sauce.
hmm
That's what makes the show great is them constantly fighting each other."
and once they get over that shit, that's say that's when the show's
Right?
over.
Yeah. Like they didn't fight not one time these last 5 episodes.
Yeah, it was dope. But any final thoughts?
Nah, I think we got everything out, man. Yeah, certified dope. I shed tears of joy, tears of just those moments that just hit you. And yeah, man, I was overall satisfied with everything. I got no complaints with the show.
Yeah, I share the same thoughts. I'm just excited to see where they take this franchise next. Karate Kid Legends is right around the corner. That's coming out in May. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I could swear that was coming out in June. I guess they pushed it up or some shit like that. But anyways, I think that's gonna be the more I see that trailer, the more I'm like, this might be my movie of the year. Like the more I see it, it just has that movie feeling to it. I don't know how else to explain it, but
Yeah, possibly. I mean, well, good thing they didn't put it out in June because there's a lot of competition in June.
and July, well, mostly July, but
Yeah.
anyways, yeah, man. Like I said, I appreciate people that checked out this live. If you checked it out on the replay, make sure you hit that like button. Go over to Rashad G Reviews. Show him some love. Got great content. You know what I'm saying? Great content. Niggas hilarious, funny as hell. You want to get a good laugh in. Um, and I will see y'all in the next one. I don't know when the next time I'm going to stream. I don't like this. Like I don't have a regular schedule.
Yeah.
Haven't really figured out how I'm going to start the Perp Show season 6 yet. But stay tuned, and you never know what's going to happen. I might, do another live stream next month or something like that. But I have a bunch of other content, a bunch of other things on the way. So all that being said, I want to thank, what I'm saying, the people over there at Netflix for just, picking up this show and running with it. This was a great this was a great run. Cobra Kai is one of the best. With all that being said, I'll see y'all in the next one.
Peace.